Alright, we are live. Okay, this light is a problem. Let me try and see if I can move forward and block it. The light behind my head is a huge problem. My camera is, my microphone is a bit to the right. Okay. One moment. Alright. Thank you so much for joining me. This is What in the World Weekly number 2. Oddly, our third installment, because I started from, is it third or fourth? Started from number 0, 0.5, 1, 2. Oh, fourth. The numbers are counting a bit weird. Apologies to my usual viewers, not many of you, but thank you nonetheless. I'm starting earlier today because it's been a long week, and actually I realized maybe moving it to somewhere around this time might be the best thing to do. Obviously, as usual, if you can't hear me, please leave a comment, however long you're in here for, so I can act accordingly. But when I usually do live streams at 4 p.m., it takes up a lot of the day because obviously you're just kind of like building up to that. You can't really go out before that. You can go out after that, but it's Sunday at 5 p.m. So there's not really much to be doing at 5 p.m. on a Sunday. So I'm experimenting with doing it at 1 p.m. today, and maybe moving forward, that might also be what I continue to do. We'll see how this one goes. I think I'm not sitting straight. I'm so worried about the light. I'm not sitting properly. Apologies if you can see the halo light to my. It's actually right here, isn't it? It's very bright, but I have no choice. I'll try and figure that out subsequently in future live streams down the line. Today I'm going to be doing something, playing another game. Again, we're still experimenting. This is What in World Weekly 2. By the time we get to What in World Weekly 70 or 100, maybe I'll have more fun handling it. But also, I don't want to get bored of what I'm doing. So the aim is not to have it so that it's such a rigid format. We do it. We do whatever we do. So today I'm playing chess. I'm a big chess aficionado. I enjoy the game. I like watching other people play. I'm not that good. I don't know if you can see my reason on the screen. You can't see it, but you're gonna see it when I start playing the game. But the aim is to just talk through. I'm gonna do some video conversation, whatever, but maybe not much because I want to enjoy today's live stream a bit more than. I don't want it to feel like work. Obviously, it's not hard, but it's also not an easy thing to be doing. I just wanted to feel more conversational. I just talk to people about things that are going on, things that have gone on for the week. Kind of how you be talking to your friend. Like if you're talking to your friend about, again, I still sound a bit crackly. If you're talking to your friend about politics or whatever's going on during the week, you probably wouldn't send video evidence. Again, I fancy myself as a bit more of a journalist, so maybe I would. But anyway, these are my list of topics on the screen. We're going to start off with Reform MP. I understand I do have some international viewers, so Reform is the political party that's kind of taking the UK by storm. They're a far right party. Like their whole central issue is immigration, and their main leaders, one of them was Nigel Farage. If you're American, you might have seen a few months ago that he came to the US to testify about the state of free speech in Britain. I guess the US should invade us and bring about, First Amendment laws for us as well. Fair enough. But he came to prominence by always challenging immigration. He's always been an immigration extremist, basically. And now that the country's falling apart economically, perfect time for, far right people who obsess about identity, which is precisely what, this Reform MP Sarah Pochin has kind of got in the news about. So I'm gonna play the video and I'm gonna give you my thoughts on it. I'm gonna play the video. I'm probably gonna start a chess game, and then we'll talk about what is going on. Oh, how do I see all my bookmarks? I always forget how to do that. Like, I don't want to search. I just want to see all of them. Let me just refresh. No, stop taking me there. Hold on. 1 second. This is an apology, which I guess I can show you after I show you the actual video, which, there we go. All right, I'm going to mute myself, and then I'm going to play the video, and then we'll discuss
Drives me mad when I see adverts full of black people, full of Asian people, full of, people that basically are anything.
What's wrong
other
with that,
than
Sarah?
white.
What's wrong with that?
Drives me mad when I see adverts full of black people, full of Asian people, full of, people that basically are anything.
What's wrong
other
with that,
than
Sarah?
white.
What's wrong with that?
Consistently. You talk of values. One of Reform's MPs, Sarah Pochin, has apologised after she said yesterday, "It drives me mad when I see adverts full of black people, full of Asian people, full of people who are anything other than white." The Prime Minister told us a couple of weeks ago that some of Reform's plans are racist. Listening to that, do you think some of their politicians are too?
She's only sorry that she's been called out, and she said the quiet bit loud. On Friday afternoon, I went to one of my local secondary schools listening to teenage boys aged between year 7, so around 11, right up to the age of 18, describe their experiences of racism.
Anything other than white. The Prime Minister told us a couple of weeks ago that some of Reform's plans are racist. Listening to that, do you think some of their politicians are too?
She's only sorry that she's been called out, and she said the quiet bit loud. On Friday afternoon, I went to one of my local secondary schools listening to teenage boys aged between year 7, so around 11, right up to the age of 18, describe their experiences of racism in our capital city, in one of the most diverse cities on earth. And what they are describing and what we have seen on our streets in recent weeks and months is a return of 1970s, 1980s style racism that I thought we had left in the history books. And the only way we are going to defeat this racism is to call it out and confront.
I didn't realise earlier when I was commenting on it that I was still on mute, but he sounds so rehearsed. Is that just me, or is that just that's just not normal? It doesn't sound like he's talking like normally, like someone's asking a question, he's just answering. Anyway, who cares what West Treason have to say? I might get onto him a bit later. This is her apology. My comments on a Talk TV phone-in earlier today were phrased poorly, and I unreservedly apologize for any offence caused, which was not my intention. The point I was making is that many British TV adverts have gone DEI mad and are now unrepresentative of British society as a whole. This is not an attack on any group, but an observation about balance and fairness in how the country is portrayed on screen. A study commissioned by Channel 4 as part of its Mirror in the Industry project found that black people were featured in more than half of adverts in 2022, up sharply from 37% in 2020 following the Black Lives Matter movement. By contrast, black people make up around 4% of the population in England and Wales according to the 2021 census. Representation in advertising should reflect the diversity of modern Britain, but should be proportionate and inclusive of everyone. My comments were made in that context, and I stand by the principle that equality should mean fairness for all. Fair enough. Now, a lot of people have been obviously mad at her, pointing out the fact that what she said was, I'm going to start my first chess game now, root for me. What she said was, I want to play 15 plus 10 just to keep it a bit slower. That what she said was racist, which, I mean, that's not really the angle I took from it. Like, that is I guess a good angle, if you want to say, to take from it. But that's not really what I saw from it. As always with Reform and these kind of people, they are identity mad. All they care about is identity politics. Again, they claim that they actually, all they care about is just fairness and everyone get, we just want to see representation, blah, blah, blah. But no one cares about identity politics more than these people. Now, Reform, if you look up a lot of the polling data and whatnot, represent probably some of the poorest people in the country. Like, I say represent, they only have 4 MPs, but That's the whole banner. Like if you look at the demographics of people that are supporting them, a lot of those people are quite like, poor, don't have a lot going on, etc., etc. Now, if you represent this kind of crowd, is your real priority? What's this guy going? Where am I trying to go? Should your real priority be obsessing endlessly about representation in advertising? Like all those people that are struggling for whatever reason, is that their primary concern then? Like, are they most concerned about the fact that I'm getting my ass kicked in this game? He's ready to castle. I'm not even look at my pieces. What the hell's going on here? Are they most concerned about the fact that they can't, people can't people see black people on adverts? How is that even relevant? Now, where she might have a tiny point is that I also have noticed as a black person that, oh my, there's loads of black people in every ad, and that's probably just because the advertisers have figured out that maybe your ads do better if there are more diverse people in there. I don't know. It's something to notice and be like, excuse me, something to notice and be like, okay, this is like interesting and random. That loads of white, loads of black people, mixed race couples are probably like the go-to in most ads nowadays. Fair enough. But as a politician, as a party trying to, win power and run the whole country, is that really what you should be concerning yourself with? Like, does it bring me confidence if I was supporting a party and that's what they were focused on? Whether or not ads featured more white people. What does that do for anyone? Like, suppose all the ads were, I don't know, down the population census line, which is ridiculous because in every ad, it's not like these ads are done, with some kind of coordination. If H&M, M&S, all these people have ads, it's not exactly like they're gonna be like, oh, let's coordinate to be like, because you put one black person in yours, I have to then put 0 black people in mine to make sure that it fits, and overall we're still representing what the population is. It's totally irrelevant. Like, there's no way to coordinate that. Like, if in one ad, every ad has like how many people max? 4 or 5 people. If they felt like, oh damn, I should have taken his rook here so he can have double pawns. That wasn't very wise of me. Hopefully he doesn't move it. I can still do it in the next move. Okay, he doesn't move it. I think I'll take this rook. I do like having my knights on the board though, because knights are very slippery pieces. What is he trying to do? 1 second. He's trying to go. Nah, it's not really much of a threat. I think I'll double up his pawns. He's probably going to try and use this pawn to take back, so he can have an open file for the rook. Should I take it? Yeah, why not? Let's have it. So these ads are not coordinated. They're done. I used the other one. That wasn't very wise of him, I think. They're just done independently. Like, people just be doing what they want. So the idea that, okay, let's just bring this one out. The idea that, oh, the ads have to be representative. How exactly would you go about enforcing that? But also, it's, again, like I said, totally irrelevant, because those things, they don't matter at all in the real world. And what you really want to be focusing on is how to actually make people's lives better. If ads are more white or more black, suppose the ads were 100% white, all those people that are, struggling and don't have enough to eat, or, below the poverty line and stuff, how exactly does that help them? It's not very clear, because again, these people don't really care about helping anyone. All they care about is just weaponizing identity pointlessly for their own ends. Kind of blocked in here a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. This is not looking great. What can I do to ease the tension? Okay, let's just play a positional game then, if we can't. So again, a lot of people seem to be taking the fact that it's racist, it's all of that stuff. Yes, I suppose. But funny thing is, I'm willing to give her the benefit of that, in the sense of, like, I'm sure she didn't mean it in a racial way. Like, even if she did, like, it's not really relevant, because I've also noticed that too. Like, oh, okay, a lot of ads do have a lot of black people in it, whatever. The key issue with this is that, again, it just goes to show that these people are identity obsessed. All they care about is identity. Sorry, one second. Go fix my chair. All they care about is identity, and they have nothing to offer anyone other than just pointlessly talking about identity until they get, some kind of political power. But yeah, I'll leave that there. Let's move on to Venezuela then. I don't know if I have anything bookmarked of Venezuela, but I guess if you've been following it, if you haven't been living under a rock, Trump has been continually. I want to attack this piece, but I don't want him to go there. Yeah, I'll move this one here first, and then once I attack this piece, he tries to go here. He can't. He has no squares to go. Maybe. Okay, fair enough. Trump has been intensifying the attacks on Venezuela. Obviously, initially, the whole lie was about drug cartels and narco terrorists, but it's been repeatedly pointed out to anyone that cares about the actual facts that no drugs come from Venezuela. Bit of an inconvenient problem, isn't it? If you're trying to use something like the fact that all the drugs come from Venezuela, but then there are actually no drugs come from Venezuela, I can see how that would be a bit of a inconvenient truth. But as always with the with the regime change people, why let the facts get in the way of your illegal crimes? Then I'm sure you guys heard about the fact that Trump, one of the boats they attacked, 2 people survived, and I'm guessing those people were just like, hanging on to bits of wood in the water or something like that. Now, it's actually bizarre what they've done because they've been murdering people the entire time. You would think that if you've been murdering people and you're basically not apologizing for the fact that, yeah, we're planning to just kill people, why would you then rescue these people once they've fallen off the boat? You just leave them to drown. Maybe it's possible that the people on the ship were like, okay, this is too barbaric. Like, we just blew up a bunch of defenseless people that we don't even know who they are. Because the people on the boats that are sending the missiles, they know for a fact that there's no drugs on this boat. Even though Trump and, Hegseth and all these other people want to lie about it, they're there. They know, we can't see anything to do with drugs. And so then the question then becomes, why would you decide to rescue the people that you just tried to murder because you're saying they pose such a threat to our country because of their narco terrorism that we're going to start murdering them? But then when they survive your attempted murder, you decide to actually rescue them. Kind of bizarre. Now, the Colombian president spoke out against this, and in response, I don't know if it's in response, I don't have direct evidence for that, but essentially, Trump started murdering Colombian people as well. Just the most lawless, insane behavior. Like, oh, this person spoke out against it. All right, then we'll just murder you too. I mean, now the key detail about this is that Trump has now talked about how the CIA is going to get involved and all these other things. But still, the media will still keep on talking about it as though there is even still a pretense of any kind of narco activity. Like, they're still, reporting it like, oh, well, it's unclear if it's about drugs when it's clearly not. Like, everyone knows it's not. Trump, and all these minions, they've all kind of been exposed for the fact that it really is just about, we want to take over Venezuela and steal their oil. There was even a video with Trump talking about, oh, Venezuela, when I was there my first term, the whole thing almost collapsed. We could have taken the oil, we could have stole their natural resources. Just think about the fact that the leader of a country is openly talking about the fact that they can just murder people and steal their natural resources. Like, the word for them, like I always use, is gangsters. These are international gangsters who have no regard for human life. And I'm sure even in the latest reports I saw about it, the media will still report. If I just Google like Washington Post or let's say Venezuela news, I bet also reporting it about like, oh, okay, about the fact that it's Google. What's this? Why is he using this nonsense? Let's go on Google. Okay, 1 second. I'll be back. I think my opponent just played. What did he do? Where's he trying to go? Where is he? I'm not really sure where this guy's trying to go. What did he do that for? That was bizarre. If I take, he takes. Still won the exchange. That was very strange. I'm not sure what he's trying to do. Fair enough then. I will take. Then I can castle. Okay. I'm actually not looking too bad in this game. I'm up 2 now. Back to what I'm trying to find. If I just Google Venezuela news, Trump may have enough. I love it. I love that I did this. I told you guys. I didn't even have to guess. Look at this. Trump may have another motive in extreme war on drug escalation. This is the chief correspondent for Sky News. Sky News Stuart Ramsey says, while the US president acknowledges the synthetic opioid fentanyl is a huge killer in the US, which it is, and supplied by drug gangs, which it is, to blame Venezuela for fentanyl production is simply incorrect. Now, this is exactly what I love that this guy wrote it like this. Let me just make sure he hasn't played. This is exactly what the media does. I just told you for the past 6-7 minutes. Everyone knows the reason why Trump is trying to destroy Venezuela. In fact, let me try and find a video if I can, just to see Trump, Venezuela could have had the oil. Hopefully, I can find that video. Oh, perfect. Now, let me show you guys. This is literally a video of Trump. So, this guy's a journalist. And it's not like he doesn't have this information. I just Googled Trump, Venezuela could have found the oil. And I found it in 5 seconds. Let me play the video for you quickly.
Venezuela. How about we're buying oil from Venezuela? When I left, Venezuela was ready to collapse. We would have taken it over. We would have gotten all that oil. It would have been right next door. Venezuela.
I gotta always remember to unmute after I show you a video. That's Trump openly saying we would have taken over the oil. He's openly admitting it. Now suddenly, this reporter says Trump may have another motive. May? They're giving Trump plausible deniability that he's not even giving himself. This is the role of the media. They pretend as though they're just reporting the facts, just calling it like they see it, but really and truly, none of this could happen without them. Now, imagine if he wrote this title and he says, Trump's real reason for attacking Venezuela is to try and take their oil. And he just embedded the video of Trump, literally Trump's own words, in which he says, we would have taken all the oil. Imagine if you're a reader, if you read this headline versus the headline I just said, which is the actual truth, by the way, how do you think you'd feel about this story? Would you have a more clear idea of what exactly is going on? Or would you have, or would you think, I guess, who knows? Even him saying may have is also implying that, oh, actually, we don't really know because this is what I think, but who really knows? We do know because Trump has been telling us many, many times what the real reason is. Let me see what nonsense is in this article. The question is simple. Is this really about Trump's war on drugs in South America? I doubt it. You doubt it. Again, it's not sure. Who can really say? Also, of course, the second part of that is that even if it were the case that there are drugs coming from Venezuela, should we just start murdering people? I'm sure that's not even really mentioned in this analysis. It's already taken, it's already assumed that if the drugs were coming from there, then maybe, I guess, it's justified our reasons to be murdering people there. If the drugs are not coming from there, then well, as the reporting I did on my TikTok the other day, if the drugs are not coming from there, it's a case of, can we be more careful in how we do it? Let me just make sure it's not my turn. Okay, it's not my turn. Can we be more careful in how we do it? I think I just boxed him in, mate. Oh, cooked. Nice. Nice. This is excellent. It's crazy. It's very crazy, these people. The kind of nonsense they think they can just talk about and get away with. So like I mentioned earlier about Trump expanding the war to Colombia. I don't have evidence that the reason why I was murdering people off the coast of the Pacific is because the Colombian president spoke out about it. But it is a bit odd that the timing of it, where the Colombian president's been talking about how this is a crime and these people have nothing to do with drugs, blah blah blah. Next thing you know, they start murdering people off their island as well. Just think about it. Now, my crazy theory about why this is happening is that obviously part of the reason is because the US wants to steal Venezuela's oil. But I also think that the US and the kind of madmen like Pete Hegseth and Trump and Rubio and all these people, I feel like they see what Israel is doing and they want in. Like, they can really see the fact that, wow, Israel is just basically able to get away with murdering people. And they want a taste of that. They want to be able to also start murdering people. And that's my kind of 3D chess theory as to why this is going on. I could take this piece and put his queen in trouble. Or I could go here and put his queen in trouble, forcing him to... Actually, no, that doesn't. This is better. So these are the kind of madmen that we have. When they see people like Israel murdering people, they're not turned off by that. It probably turns them on. Like, they're probably getting some kind of weird gratification from that. And they're like, how do we do our own version? And I keep saying that I think if Israel has not been doing what they've been doing for the past 2 years now, it would be harder to defend that kind of behavior. Like, it would just look too galling to like take it upon yourself to be murdering people, because I think the eyes of the world will be on it. But thank you, Israel. This is how Israel is part of another way Israel destroys our world. They make the indefensible the most horrific things in the world. They make it okay. Okay, in quotes, of course, it's never okay. But if Israel's killed well over 200,000 people, probably in Gaza, maybe even more than that, what is 29 people in the Pacific? It doesn't even seem like a big deal. And especially the way they kill people as well, right? Like, everyone talks about, not everyone, the propagandists that want to pretend as though like Hamas is uniquely violent, even though by any metric, Hamas is... Ooh, I just saw something. By any metric, it's gonna move this piece away. By any metric, Israel is more violent than Hamas, more deplorable, more crazy. What they keep talking about is the fact that Hamas went into Israel on October 7th and they were basically doing hand-to-hand combat. And to them, that is less horrible than what Israel did, which is dropping bombs from a few thousand feet in the air. So it's almost like to them, the bombs just hug people to death. Whereas when you kill someone up close, then that's the worst thing you can do. Like, if these people that were killed by Trump, if they were killed in a way where if they were killed in a way where the boat, the Coast Guard stormed the boat and then just started shooting them, everyone will be like, oh my God, this is so horrible. Like, we've never seen any kind of murder like this. But people won't even use the word murder because it involves bombs. Like, when you drop bombs on someone, it's not murder. It's kind of like, it's something different. Because you can always say like, well, we're actually targeting this person, but in the fact that we killed 5 people next to them, well, it just happens. This guy's such a fool. Whereas if you're dropping bombs, it's a lot harder to defend, like, why exactly that's happening. Like, how can you justify the fact that people are being murdered? Wait, 1 second. Wait, what? Is my live not active? Someone just messaged me saying waiting for me to start doing X, Y, and Z. Let me check if the live stream is actually active. Look at me taking you guys behind the kitchen. Yeah, it is active, right? Is it not? Wait, hold on a minute. I'll feel a bit silly if I wasn't recording the whole time. The whole time. I don't know how to check if it's actually going to YouTube or not. Analytics. I can't really check if it's going to YouTube or not. Okay, apologies. I think I need to try and fix this just to make sure that it's actually recording. Wait, what? Fuck. Oh, scared. Wait, sorry guys. I'm just trying to fix, making sure it works. Wait. Hold on. Ah, okay. All right, that was scary. Turns out I was sharing a link that doesn't actually play the live. But hopefully, everything's back in play now. One of my friends just messaged me. I need to let her join my live. Anyway, as I was saying about the US and Venezuela, if the US was using the Coast Guard to jump on these boats and murder people there, it wouldn't be a big deal. But the fact that, I'm going to go for a fork on this one, but the fact that they are dropping bombs from thousands of feet in the air, and again, these people's bodies are just being completely dismembered. You have to remember how bombs kill people. Like, this guy's such a fool. Fork. Bombs don't hug people to death. They completely dismember them. They destroy their bodies. Isn't that crazy? Like, a more violent way of dying is actually seen as like merciful. Whereas again, if they went on those boats with AK-47s and started just spraying people, this would be a massive international crisis. Just kind of puts in perspective the kind of world we live in. It's really crazy, honestly. Murder is okay. Like, murdering people, in fact, the more you kill, the better it is. Because again, if Trump has already killed 1 or 2 people, it might not have been like a massive deal. But the fact that I'm trying to set up, I want to try and keep his king in the corner, so I'll just put this piece over here. Honestly, when you watch chess online, it actually helps you a lot with tactics, because I wouldn't have thought about that before. But now I'm just going to do that, and I don't really want to have to protect this piece, but let me just move it forward. I'm okay to sacrifice it later, but I just want to keep his king in a corner, and I got to try and bring my queen out, because I can basically more or less checkmate him if his king just stays there. Anyway, that's the kind of madness we're dealing with. Sorry, I keep getting distracted by this. Okay, perfect. This guy's a fool. If I just go here, it should be checkmate in 1, or I can try and block it, I guess. It could be checkmate if I just go all the way to the end. Right. Alright. What's he trying to do? What can he do? I'm not sure what he's doing. Takes that piece. I just take back. He only has 1 piece. There's nothing he can do. Check. Oh, damn it. I can't checkmate him. I forgot he moved that piece forward. Lol. Alright, fair enough. I'll just go pawn hunting. Oh, now this piece is in trouble. Thank God I spotted that. Now just tuck it. Just tuck it next to the to the Queen, perhaps. Should I just put it here? Where can you go? You can go there. Actually, you can't go there. You can't go there. You can't go there. You can go here. Okay, let me just put it here. Right, what are we talking about next? New York. Now, this has been one of the most exciting things to watch in the past few weeks. I've done some TikTok stories about the mayoral New York elections. Zoran Mamdani. Now, just first things first, if you know about politics, I promise you, this Zoran guy, which you might have heard a lot about, he's not even that radical. But anything that threatens the kind of cultural supremacy of Israel cannot go unchallenged. Like, what they seek and what they're aiming for is total domination. You know, I went to a debate a few weeks ago. People were talking about how is protest even that meaningful if, you know, no one agrees with, if no one, like, you know, if basically you're just doing it by yourself. Like, if it's just one voice and, like, you know, it doesn't really seem to be having much effect, does it actually matter? Nothing proves that protest matters more than studying the case of Israel, because they will refuse to let even one person, like, people can't step out of line. You have to be completely in lockstep with them. And if you're not, they're working to make sure that you are. So Zoran Mamdani, for those that don't know, is actually a Democrat. He's in the Democratic Party. You wouldn't know that, again, by by the way they've been talking about him. But he's been making waves because he won the primary, destroyed the entire field. One of them includes Andrew Cuomo, the corrupt serial sexual harasser who was the former governor of New York. And he's basically going to win because obviously New York is a heavy Democratic city. So, you know, he's odds-on favorite. It's going to be very easy. Now, what is interesting about him is that a lot of his policies, which, you know, seem like sensible. My rook is exposed. Oh, thank you. I just saw that now. LOL. Thank you for that, Bissy. Appreciate it. A lot of his policies, and I mean, I guess for America, they are quite radical. Talking about free buses. America already has some free buses in New York City, by the way. Just talking about expanding that. And, you know, a bunch of other progressive, positive things like that. But they're moving like this guy is the Antichrist. You have people like Bill Ackman, who, if I can show you his feed, has devoted almost his entire feed to obsessing about Zoran and the fact that if Zoran wins, it's going to be like, oh my God, the apocalypse. We're all going to leave New York. Everyone's going to die. Of course, this guy's a Zionist. But here we go. When you go to the polls, if you're considering voting for Zoran, blah, 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 blah. A vote for Curtis Sliwa is a vote for Zoran. We are Sliwa voters, just obsessing about the election, the typical blah, blah, blah. You know, this guy, he doesn't care about politics this much when he's buying the politicians, by the way. Look, in the most Jewish state in America, debates of anti-Semitism, blah, blah, blah. A 34-year-old Muslim who does not believe Israel should exist as a Jewish state. Is that a radical thing? Should we have Jewish states? I bet the Washington Post doesn't even consider, like, maybe it's not a good thing if we have Jewish states, because what does that mean for the non-Jewish citizens of that state? Could the US decide to be a white state since they're 70% white and they're European, even though obviously the US is actually in America and the indigenous people of America are not white? Okay, forget that. You have all just endless obsession with the election and Zoran and etc., etc., etc. It's not even about his actual policies. It's simply the fact that Zoran Mamdani is someone who has some minor respect for Palestinian lives, and that in itself cannot be allowed. You know, it's like what happened with Jeremy Corbyn. You know, Jeremy Corbyn has never really affirmed the Palestinian right to defend themselves, which is the most basic human right anyone has. Like, I know it's not an officially recorded right, but if you don't have the right to defend yourself from someone attacking you, what rights do you have? So it's not like Zoran Mamdani has said, I support the rights of the Palestinians to defend themselves from people trying to murder them. He hasn't gone anything that radical. All he said is, I'm not going to visit Israel. I think there's a video of him when they asked him at the debate, because this is New York City. You would think this is an election for mayor of Jerusalem, not mayor of New York City. Zoran, I will stay in New York. Oh, I was about to tweet that. I meant to search. I didn't mean to tweet. I meant to search a video. Zoran. This just goes to show you how deep my political bag is. I can just try and find videos by just searching them up. I've forgotten more politics than a lot of people know because I don't need to remember all these things. I just try to. Can I find the video of him saying that? There was a video at the debate where he said, like, they were asking all the politicians, "Are you going to visit New York, Israel? Are you going to visit Israel?" And he's like, "Nah, I'm going to stay in New York and work, you know, where I was actually elected." Oh my God, uproar! If I'm mayor of New York, why am I going to Israel for? Mayors don't even have any political power to influence national politics. Why would I go to Israel? Just to go and show my loyalty and my subservience, not only to Israel, more importantly to the fact that Palestinians cannot have rights, and I will make it so. I can't find a video of him saying it. Oh, there we go. This is it.
Been shown in New York.
Sorry, 1 second. Let me play this video. This is gold. This is the reasons why they hate Zoran, by the way.
Given the hostility and the anti-Semitism that has been shown in New York, I would go to Israel.
Mr. Tilson, where would you go?
Yeah, I'd make my 4th trip to Israel, followed by my 5th trip to Ukraine, 2 of our greatest allies fighting on the front lines of the global war on terror.
Mr. Mamdani.
I would stay in New York City. My plans are to address New Yorkers across the 5 boroughs and focus on that.
Mr. Mamdani, can I just jump in? Would you visit Israel? As mayor?
I will be doing, as the mayor, I'll be standing up for Jewish New Yorkers, and I'll be meeting them wherever they are across the 5 boroughs, whether that's in their synagogues and temples or at their homes or at the subway platform, because ultimately we need to focus on delivering on their concerns.
And just yes or no, do you believe in a Jewish state of Israel?
I believe Israel has the right to exist.
Not
as a Jewish state?
As a state with equal rights.
He won't,
he won't
say it has a right to exist as a Jewish state. Be very
clear. And his answer was no, he won't visit Israel.
I said that.
That's what he was trying to say.
No. Unlike you, I answer questions very directly.
All right,
and I want to be very clear. I believe every state should be a state of equal rights.
Okay, thank you.
Given the hostility.
They're attacking someone for saying, "I believe every state should have equal rights." Mad people, completely mad people. But that is what's going on with the election. I think early voting has begun in New York actually, and it looks like Zoran is on course to win. Let's see what the latest is. Zoran leads. Early voting has surged 5-fold in the mayoral race. Zoran holds a double-digit lead. Blah 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 blah. I can't see anything else about it, but it seems like Zoran is on course to win, which is great news. But again, I must keep pointing out, this guy is not even that radical. It's just the fact that he believes, for example, Israel should exist as a state with equal rights. Oh my God, horror. I'll leave it there with Zoran. Let me just check if this guy. This guy still hasn't played. I'm not sure what he's waiting for. What is he waiting for? Oh shit! It's my turn. Lol. I didn't know it was my turn. I thought it was his turn. That's hilarious. Now I'm actually down on time. I should still win though, but that's ridiculous. It goes to the take I'm easy. Dun, 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 dun. Next story. Israeli journalist, I see Haaretz as #1 threat to Israel's position. Now there's a video for that one. Let me try and see if I can tee it up while this guy plays. Oh, he's played. 1 second. I really want to take out this piece, but okay, just do this. What is he gonna do? There's a video to this, and I think the point of this story is to show you how I've talked a lot about the fact that Israel considers itself to be in a global information war. You know, a war that's meant to be. It's not just about I guess, trying to win the actual genocidal war they're fighting, they consider everyone in the West who doesn't believe in their version of Jewish supremacy to be a threat. And they make no bones about that. Like, they are very, very clear about the fact that if you do not support Jewish supremacy, this is a problem. Now, again, I'm quite distracted because I'm trying to play this game, but I guess it's gonna try and put me in check, which is, I don't know, that doesn't really threaten me, to be honest. How should I play this? So part of that strategy of the information warfare is buying TikTok, buying, getting Elon Musk to do whatever they want on getting Elon Musk to do whatever they want on Twitter, taking down people's tweets for saying, nothing, all that kind of stuff. But even in Israel itself, the way they view other people that are hostile to their version of reality, you have to see it to believe it. So Haaretz, and I mentioned Haaretz here. Haaretz is a major Israeli newspaper. What's he trying to do? I'm not even sure what his plan is. It's a major Israeli newspaper, and they're seen as kind of, I should have used the queen to take. What was I thinking? They're seen as, I only have 2 minutes left. I'm winning this game. How am I 2 minutes down? Oh, this is annoying. They're seen as kind of independent. Kind of. I don't really want to lose this piece, I'll be honest. What should I do? They're seen as kind of independent. Now they publish stories of what's happening in Israel, like, and I always say Haaretz, which is the biggest newspaper in Israel, it's like the New York Times of Israel. They publish stuff that's way more honest about Israel than the Washington Post, the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, all of our Western media combined. Haaretz publishes more honest stuff about Israel than they do. Just think about that. Haaretz in Israel has military censorship, by the way. So Haaretz is actually theoretically subject to military censorship. Like, the government can tell them, take that story down. Despite this fact, they're still able to publish honestly about what Israel's doing. I need to wrap this game up. I'm just mucking around now. I don't know what I'm doing. Whereas our media is not able to do that. It's madness. Okay, let's just push this pawn. But yeah, so that's the latest what's going on with I need to play a video, but I'm so sorry. This game is is not looking simple, so I can't exactly play the video right now. But this guy Amit Segal, funny enough, he's an Israeli journalist, so he says, and his whole issue is that Haaretz is basically too honest about what's going on in Israel. That's his whole beef. I did not see that move. What am I doing? What was that? I missed that. How did I miss that? When he went there. Oh, that was annoying. He's going to try and repeat me, all right? I cannot let that happen. So what his whole beef is, like, Haaretz is honest about what's going on in Israel. The video will make a lot more sense when I play it, by the way, but give me a second. Anyway, he's complaining that Haaretz is honest about what's going on in Israel, but he also describes Haaretz as the #1 threat to Israel's position in the world. Where is the video? Oh, this is the video. But this guy he has me on the ropes, so I have to focus and play. I'm down on time, and I'm up 9, so I should be winning this game easily, but this kind of nonsense that happens to me when I play chess. What should I do next? I'm gonna try and go here and just double up on this pawn right here, because I haven't really got much time. Can I play no, I can't play the video. All right, let's just try and double up on the pawn in the meantime. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run tá wà sáré o. I just hate this guy. Oh, mo wárí títí mo lè ṣàníyàn. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run tó kó mi yọ. Ká dẹ̀ má ṣe ohun tá lè ṣe, ká dẹ̀ má yọ̀. Check, go there. What happens after that? No more checks, right? Check. If I go there. Any more checks? Nope. Maybe this one. Check. Annoying. Fair enough. All right, and then what? Take that one. I'll maybe check here. What do I do with that check? I'll just take that piece. Oh, this is so annoying. All right. Any more checks left? I don't think so. All right, perfect. I think we can win the game now. Finally, I can show you the video. Oh, that was annoying. Okay. All right, let me play the video. I've been doing it for 50 minutes.
Comes from the Middle East, and since there are almost no independent journalists in Gaza, so the number one source for negative information, negative perception about Israel is Haaretz.com. And I see Haaretz.com as the number one threat on Israel's position in the world. Why?
Now, this guy's meant to be a journalist. Just look at his profile. A chief political analyst. And he's calling another newspaper because they publish stuff that's honest about what Israel's doing as the number one threat to Israel. So if they feel that way about their own newspapers, how do you think they feel about us? Even me, I guess I'm relatively small. If I was to get even a tad bit bigger, they will be seriously coming after me, because anyone who doesn't ascribe to their version of reality, which is that we have to be Palestinian racists, it's not acceptable for them. They have to seek to conquer your mind. It's almost it's a reality control, which is what was said in 1984. That's what they seek to do. So it's very scary that, like, we have to I guess I consider myself as like fighting this, because if you're not careful, you will just end up starting to believe, like, if I show you my feed, a lot of it is just right-wing nonsense. Like, just right-wing nonsense. See, I can't find political stuff. David Curtin. I don't know who that man is. Okay, now this doesn't help. But usually my tweet is just right-wing extremist nonsense, all supporting what Israel's doing. There's no distinction between them and, they're so far removed from reality. It's kind of crazy, but yeah, just important to realize that even in Israel, they consider people that talk about, Israeli newspapers as enemies. Twitter's an enemy, so we have to like subdue Elon Musk. Now we have him on our side. TikTok is an enemy, so we have to buy it and make the algorithm more compliant to what we do. They bought CBS, going to try and do the same thing. Everyone has to submit. And I personally don't think it's going to last long. I think when you seek to have that kind of totalitarian control on speech, which is what they're looking to do, it's only a matter of time before it blows up in your face. It has to. Like, people aren't going to stand for it, and you're going to push it too far. Like we saw with the Maccabi Tel Aviv stuff, trying to alter reality to pretend as though they were the ones that were at risk of violence when they are the ones that have been documented brutalizing other people, and the government went and put their support behind that. Then the report got leaked that actually no, it was them, and also their match got cancelled and because again, these people can't control themselves. And now the government looks a bit silly. So now I imagine that story is going to disappear from the headlines. But those are the kind of important body blows that their information warfare has to take before it starts becoming more and more apparent that this can't go on. I'm going to go into the final story now to wrap up very pretty shortly. And this one's about the Israel and the White House. Before I do, let me just take a quick picture of my victory so I can stun online and say I actually won my game. 3 great moves. Wow, look at that. Oh, it takes me to a different screen for game review. What was my rating on the game? How did I play?
You had a nice tactical find in this game. Let's review.
Okay, fair enough. So the last thing is about, we talk a lot about Gaza and ceasefire, not ceasefire. During the whole entire war, not only were Israel destroying Gaza, they were also supporting literal terrorists. Let me try and find the story here just to make it a bit more clear. Oh, this is not my bookmarks. That's why I can't find the story I'm looking for. Okay. Now, this is the story. The White House reposted a Washington Post article that says, "My Gaza's ready for peace. Hamas is trying to destroy it." Wow. The White House talking about how serious, they are about peace. Now, let's look at that article and who wrote it. Where is it? I'm just gonna Google it. I don't know why I even bother searching. Let me just Google it. My God, because this is quite important. And it just illuminates the kind of people we have in the world. Like, it's depressing. Oh, Washington Post. Where is it? Washington Post. Oh, it's taking me to press reader. Okay, let me see if I. You know what I'm looking for? There we go. My Gaza is ready for peace. I don't really want to. No, I just want to see the article for free. Anyway, the key thing is I'm trying to show you guys is who wrote the article, which it's not even letting me show you guys on here now. So I'm just going to show you here. Who wrote the article, My Gaza is Ready for Peace? Very important. It's an opinion piece by Abu Shabab gang member. Now, this is a member of one of the gangs that every time you hear about Israel saying, "Oh, the aid in Gaza is being looted by Hamas," it wasn't Hamas. It was people like these gangs that they pay to go and loot the aid, murder some people, and then claim Hamas is stealing all the aid and won't let the people of Gaza eat. So it's not only that they have to starve them, they have to also sponsor actual terrorists to make it so that their version of reality that they're trying to invent comes to pass. So if they just left the aid there and just drove it in normally, Hamas would actually try and make sure it gets to as many people as possible. Israel can't have that problem. The idea that Hamas can just try and act responsibly or plans to act responsibly is not acceptable to Israel. So to make their version of reality happen, which I've talked a lot about Israel making reality happen, like they buy all these social media apps to try and control what we see. The other way they do that is just by making it happen themselves. Sponsor a bunch of terrorists in Gaza to murder people and steal aid. There's a video I saw when people were fighting for aid. It was a few months ago. It was so horrific. Like, it was like the Hunger Games, but I wish I loaded it up before this just to show you the kind of images I'm talking about. Like, makes you realize the reality of people starving to death is no joke. Now, after the ceasefire happened, Hamas has been trying to take these people out because these people are collaborators with a genocidal government that's trying to destroy the entire Palestinian population. Now, you're not meant to say like you agree with Hamas trying to remove people that have been collaborating with Israel and murdering Palestinians on behalf of Israel, because apparently those people are meant to be the peace-loving ones. Like I always say, when you find the most maniac, genocidal, extremist terrorist anyway, we are supporting them. That's our favorite kind of people. We support terrorists. If someone's not that extreme, they don't have our support. You have to, what are you willing to do? How many people are you willing to kill? The more, the better for the West. So because Hamas is trying to destroy these people, Israel made it so that some of their gang members were able to write an opinion piece in the Washington Post. So the Washington Post, Israel, the White House, they're coordinating together to give literal terrorists a voice. Isn't that just amazing? Like, isn't that just fantastic? So how does it work? Israel goes to, I'm guessing, the opinion editor of the Washington Post, because they have that power, right? To just go to him and just say, help us place this story in there. He places the story. I don't know if I could put some, try and find like screenshots from it or whatever. I have it on press reader, but unfortunately I didn't what do you call it? I didn't save it. So Israel gets the Washington Post to publish it. The White House, again acting on Israel's behalf, then boosts the story to again make it seem like Hamas is trying to destroy the peace. How can you make peace with people like Israel collaborators? It's not very clear. And so now, the reality they've now invented is that Hamas is the one trying to destroy the peace, as opposed to the Israeli-sponsored gangs who have been looting aid, murdering people, all that kind of stuff, as opposed to them trying to actually destroy the peace or not letting them have peace in Gaza. These are the kind of people we're supporting. Like, this is what's happening in the world. It's very important that people know. Mohammed Shehada. I spelled his name wrong. I think I have. I wanted to show you a picture of one of these people. Can't find him. Okay, it's this guy. I think he posted a picture of some of the. These are the people. Nice. So these are some of the people that wrote the article. This guy right here. Look at the kind of nice houses they're living in. Abu Shabab, that's the gang that's been involved in looting the aid. When you are the most despotic, extreme, genocidal, murderous maniac, you can count on support from people like the President of the United States, who actually boost your article written by the Washington Post. So just think about the kind of the cabal we're going on. We have a massive, major, Western media, organization, the Washington Post, the literal President of the United States, and of course Israel itself, all working together to boost a terrorist message and prevent any kind of peace. This is what the Palestinians are up against, by the way. Like, every entire Western major power center is aimed at destroying them. Do they have a voice to object on Twitter or whatever? Nope. Facebook and all these people coordinate with the Israeli government to take down their accounts. Can they fight back and get some weapons and shoot back the people that are shooting them? No, because that'll make them terrorists, which would justify Israel dropping bombs on a primary school because we're fighting the terrorists. Can they appeal to the UN or all these kind of international major institutions? Nope, because the UN Refugee Works Agency, which helps, coordinate aid in Gaza, was smeared by Israel as being Hamas, and that led to all the Western major institutions suspending payments for that. So just to recap, they're not allowed to fight back and defend themselves. They're not allowed to even get their opinions out there. They're not allowed to appeal to any international institutions. Now the ICJ is still dragging its feet on their case. As Yahya Sinwar said, does the world just expect them to be just like the perfect victims? Just take your murder, take your repression, take your humiliation, and just go away. This week my TikToks have been focused on what's going on in the West Bank, in the harvests. There's videos like this of just look. These are old ladies just being harassed by. This boy doesn't look, I don't know, a day over 14, and he has the power to do this. This old man just being beaten up by a settler. This is an Israeli settler. Look at the army, the IDF, helping to this is how they restore order, by the way. Beat up the Palestinian person. A 9-year-old Palestinian boy stood at a distance. An Israeli soldier knelt and shot him dead. The soldier later appeared to celebrate. These are the people we're supporting. People that celebrate when they murder children. That's just one story, by the way. I'm sure there's so many stories that Haaretz even get to report, which is why I guess it makes sense why the other guy said Haaretz is the #1 threat to Israel's position in the West, in the world, because when they can report honestly about what is going on in Israeli society, that is a problem, isn't it? You can't let the truth is a threat to you if the truth presents the reality of what's going on, which is that these are some of the most extreme and psychopathic people in the world, and anyone of conscience should be opposing them. That was a nice place to wrap up. Okay, I think I'll leave it there. I didn't get to play as many chess games as I wanted, but thankfully it was a W regardless. So we are happy for that. Thank you guys for watching. Who was coming? Thank you, BC, for coming in earlier. Again, this has been a bit earlier than I usually do it, but I think I quite enjoy that. I think I might look to do it a bit more often earlier, just cause. So appreciate you all watching, and if you're watching this later on, not live, which is probably what I expect, hope you found that engaging and interactive and whatnot. You can leave any comments on what I should improve, what I should not improve, what I should do more of, less of. I'm open to all those suggestions because, you know, I want to, like I said, create a community, make this really engaging for people. I find these things super interesting, and I'll be honest, whether or not I got 0 views or 100 million views, I probably talk about this. Like, this just represents an irrepressible part of me. Unfortunately, it's kind of sad to say, really, when you think about it, but it is what it is. And yeah, I will speak to you guys next week. I won't say same time because I'm not sure what time I'll be doing next week. I am quite busy next week. I have quite a few things going on similar to this week, so I can't promise that it's going to be the same time. But what I can promise is the show will happen. Like, come hell or high water, as the Americans say, the show will go on. So yeah, appreciate you guys supporting me, watching me, and I will speak to you guys on